Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dynamite review for the 8th of September 2021. Overall, a really good show. I find it interesting that AEW comes out of pay per views with better shows, quality wise, than going into them. I've found that a few times now with their pay per views. I don't quite understand what that is, but they do have a bunch of new talent, so maybe that's a contributing factor. Anyway, Excalibur is absent from the commentary team because he's preparing for his wedding. He's replaced by Taz. It's definitely a quality upgrade with Taz in the commentary booth instead of Excalibur. Good for him that he's getting married. Hey, life goals. Whether I like someone as talent, I still believe they deserve to be happy as a person. Anyway, so show begins with a recap of the events of All Out. Mikael Black defeats Dustin Rhodes. Hot open, amazing open, and well promoted coming into things. Mikael Black, of course, has been dealing with a nightmare family. They go right after each other in the beginning. Dustin nails him with some clotheslines, and then an atomic drop follows up with a German suplex out of the corner. Dustin keeps going at him on the floor, and then thinks about a destroyer, but Black fights out and then superplex Dustin through the timekeeper's table. Good use of the table, good use of the timing, and just basically psychology in a match that makes sense. Black continues to dominate. Dueling chance for both guys, which is kind of cool. Respect for Dustin, but also newer generation preferring Black. Black then applies a choke, transitioning into a heel hook, and Dustin fights to reach the ropes. Dustin fights back with some easy hands, but Black kicks out and kicks the leg out. Dustin collapses on a hammer throw attempt. He's selling the leg, and then Dustin comes back with shoulder tackles and a power slam for a 2 count. Dustin still has one of the best power slams in the business, in my opinion, even in the over 50 crowd. Actually, that's even more impressive that he can pull the move off in the way that he does. Anyway, cradles Black for near fall, lands corner punches, which is a move that I still hate, and Black goes after the leg of Dustin again. Hits a running knee from Black, getting a near fall. Black moves to the floor and pulls Cody's boot from underneath the ring. Brings the boot into the ring, makes fun of Dustin with it. Dustin fires up and hits drop down right hand. Gets a "you still got it" chant there. Dustin then goes for the running bulldog, but Black counters and sends him into the exposed turnbuckle. Spinning heel kick followed and finishes the match. Dustin's bleeding pretty hard after the match from the mouth. Lucha Bros video played. Championships cost them blood, sweat, and tears, but they've got them, and anyone who wants them is welcome to take them. Decent enough promo for the champs. Again, it's a mixed bag. I don't like the Lucha Brothers, but I like them more than I like the Bucks, so lesser of two evils as far as that's concerned. Eddie Kingston cuts a promo. He calls Miro out for using a low blow at All Out, and Miro comes back by saying that he'd offer Kingston broken bones to his wife and his soul to God. Heated promo, although a little goofy, but at least the continuation of the feud is eminent. CM Punk speaks. Punk thanked Darby Allin, Sting, and all the fans. Wrestling's like riding a violent bicycle, he said, and he's back. Crowd chants, "You still got it" to him. "You still got it" seems to be a popular chant tonight. Anyway, Punk hypes Minoru Suzuki's appearance on the show. This leads to a Moxley chant. He addresses Aunt Linda, the woman who raised Brian Pillman, in the front row before listing all the surprises from All Out. First person that Punk texted post-match was his wife, and she said, "What's next?" And Punk says he'd leave it up to the crowd. Taz has had enough of this. Taz says he wants Punk to leave Team Taz alone. Powerhouse Hobbs and Hook emerge. Punk challenged Taz to send any member of Team Taz in, telling them to beat them if he can, survive if he lets them. Awesome promo. Punk is phenomenal. Santana and Ortiz on their feud with FTR sparked something within them and turning their attention to the rest of the tag division. So I guess the feud's over. it feels anticlimactic, but at the same time, if it's over, it's over. Ruby Soho asked about her open challenge. She said she didn't want people to think that she got lucky at the Casino Battle Royal. Britt Baker and company walked up saying Soho's just flavor of the month. Ouch. Soho comes back saying that she's one of the people who helped break Baker into the business. She thinks Baker's got all the nicknames as a defense against letting people see who she really is. Baker tells Soho to run away to catering just like the last few years. The catering thing is getting old at this point on both shows. Like, just, it's an insider jab that's been overplayed. Anyway, um, Soho tells Savani, I know she's your girl, but I'm going to whoop her tail. And another good promo. Powerhouse Hobbs with Hook defeats Dante Martin. At least they're doing something with Hobbs. He should be in the ring with somebody more convincing than Martin. However, Martin can sell well for Hobbs, so it all kind of works out. Dante goes for uh, high spots early. Hobbs catches the springboard. Dante uses evasive maneuvers, nails dropkick, and sends Hobbs to the floor. Dive to the outside. Hobbs catches him, sends him into the ring post, and then sends him into the barricade. Hobbs is in control and goes after Dante on the mat. Comes back with shotgun dropkick and a running senton for a near fall. Hobbs rolls out to the floor. Dante looks to hit a tope, but Hook hops up on the apron to block it. Dante then decides to hit a tope instead over the top and bashes into Hobbs on the floor. Dante hits a Gamagiri, but Hobbs avoids a springboard. Dante hits a running kick before Hobbs turns into a running offense into a spinebuster for a win. Hobbs is knocked loopy in the end of the match, but Hobbs has something, and if he's going to feud with Punk or even have a few matches with Punk, that's good for business. Dan Lambert appears in the stands, flanked by Man of the Year. He congratulates AEW for bringing in all the new talent, but also avoid the truth, which is that the company has only two real men wrestling for it. Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. Together they will scream their truths. So if there's any tough guys who want to shut them up, they better do so now. There's got to be a payoff to this somewhere. Matt Hardy promised to shave Orange Cassidy's head. Orange Cassidy comes back with whatever. Man, they've totally botched Cassidy. I think that he should be doing something more. Now the balance side of that is he's feuding with former national stars. The negative side is both Jericho and Hardy are past their prime, and I think that they should be doing something more with Cassidy. Anyway, so MJF comes out. He's alongside Wardlow. MJF explains that he beat Jericho 3 times before Sunday and beat him a 4th time, but the referee got involved. MJF insults Cincinnati and brings up cheap heat. It's called the Midwest because everything within it is mid, including the skyline, chili, and reds. He dares people to jump the guardrail, but they won't because they're all cowards. I actually like this. Reminded me almost of a high-end Dudley's back from the ECW in '98, just daring people to do something. Turns attention to Aunt Linda, who raised Brian Pillman in the front row. Says Pillman's daughter, who MJF also insults. Brian Pillman Jr.'s music plays, and he comes out in a Bengals jersey. He calls out MJF. Pillman knows MJF has a silver spoon upbringing, but Cincinnati breaks or breeds people like Pillman and John Moxley. MJF is just a fanboy. Pillman is from the streets of Cincinnati. MJF brings up Pillman's drug-addicted mother, and Pillman gets hot. Wardlow stands in between them. MJF suggests Pillman's mother should have swallowed. He tells Wardlow to go stand in the corner and look pretty. He's about to say he's going to abort Pillman, so Pillman attacks and beats him down. Wardlow interrupts, but Pillman escapes briefly To continue the attack, Wardlow gets the chase again and nails Pillman with a German suplex. Griff Garrison runs out, but immediately is crushed by Wardlow, who prompted him and allowed MJF to strike with Dynamite Diamond Ring. I like this, but I think it's backwards. I think you need to elevate MJF above Jericho. I think it's a backward step, the Pillman thing. I do like it for Pillman, though. Moxley addresses Suzuki, saying he's in the jungle tonight, and you're going to die. Riho defeats Jamie Hayter with Britt Baker, DMD. Hayter uses power advantage early to start. Soho catches a pump kick, returns the kick of her own. Hayter sends Soho into the ropes, to the floor ahead of the break. Upon return from the break, Soho uses a head scissors, sends Hayter's face first into the turnbuckle, follows up with running kicks and a modified DDT for near fall. Some kind of facebuster for Soho gets 2 count, and then Hayter overpowers Soho and hits a sliding lariat for 2 count. Soho then hits the wind-up kick and out of nowhere for the win. After the match, Baker and Rebel immediately attack. Riho runs out to make the save and was immediately taken out. Chris Statlander comes out with a chair to chase everyone off. Brian Cage and Ricky Starks cut dueling promos. Starks is tired of Cage and wants a one-on-one match. Earlier today, Dark Order were asked about their problems. Uno said they're fine, but Angels got hot. NJ walks up and tells everyone to act like a team. Pinnacle, Harwood, Wheeler, and Shawn Spears with Tully Blanchard and Wardlow defeated Dark Order, Uno, Grayson, and Silver. I don't know. I wasn't a fan of this. Silver immediately blind tags himself in. Spears knocks him down with a shoulder tackle. Silver returned fire with a body slam. He puts up Spears in the corner for tag. Hesitated before bringing in Grayson. Grayson gets beat down in the Pinnacle's corner. Jawbreaker from Spears allows him to tag Dax. Dax goes in repeated covers, but only gets a near fall. Silver fires up with a suplex, but Spears and Cash knocks down the Dark Order. 3-on-1 disadvantage for Silver is too much, and Pinnacle hits a modified C4 on Silver for the quick win. Grayson's late coming in to break it up and leading to more miscommunication. Maybe this Dark Order experiment's going to end sooner or later. That would be a good thing. Anyway, post-match, Uno gets in Silver's face. Silver's had enough and takes out Uno. Grayson and Angels are hot. Ten and Cabana try to cool everyone off. Then we go to a series of quick promos from women in the Casino Battle Royal. Energy, Jade Cargill, Nyla Rose, and Thunder Rosa. Nothing really notable in that. Tully Blanchard is backstage. He said everyone saw an example of leadership out there in the ring. He wants Tony Khan to book Darby Allin versus Shawn Spears next weekend at some point. It will be Tully versus Sting one more time. That could be interesting. It could also be a nightmare if they keep it to 5 minutes, could be good. Sammy Guevara does his sign deal through picture-in-a-picture. Varsity Blondes were interviewed about their brawl earlier tonight. Pillman decides to challenge MJF to a match, which will happen in 2 weeks. Acclaim walked up, and Caster revealed that he has a match with Pillman on Friday's Rampage. Elite and Bryan Danielson promo. Tire Elite minus Adam Cole comes out. Callis brings up Kenny Omega winning the top spot in the PWF 500. Do people even know what that is anymore? Like the average viewer, do they even know? All Out's about the Elite. Nick brings out Adam Cole, who made his entrance. Cole starts by looking at Shivani, and if you ever look at Britt the wrong way, I will slap those glasses off your face and whoop your tail. And then he tells that nerd Shivani to get out of the ring. Calls AEW the greatest place on earth. Cole may be new to AEW, but he's been elite for a very long time. He's once in a generation professional wrestler, and he's the very best. Fans should be thanking him because now the elite is complete. Next week, Cole will make his in-ring debut everyone see how elite he really is. Says, um, that's a cause for celebration. Omega uh, waits as Danielson interrupts. Um, he he said that they should send away the rest of the elite, and then but the elite invite Danielson into the ring instead. Danielson grabs the microphone away and asks the fans if they wanted to see Bryan Danielson fight Kenny Omega. He said Omega talks about being the best wrestler in the world, but he's afraid of Danielson. Omega isn't on his level. This is completely true. And Danielson wasn't always the best in the world either, but dang, it's like, ice cream and horse manure when you talk about Danielson versus Omega, and certainly Omega is the remnants of horse food. Anyway, Danielson stops an attack and locks on the LeBell Lock when they finally confront. Christian Cage, Frankie Kazarian, and Jurassic Express come out to make the save. Luchasaurus presses Stunt onto a pile, and Jungle Boy hits a huge dive. They all cornered Brandon Cutler in the ring, and he gets hit with Danielson's running knee. Segment ends. So, Rampage lineup: Pac versus Andrade, Darby Allin and Sting promo, Britt Baker, Rebel, and Jamie Hayter versus Ruby Soho, Chris Statlander, Riho, Brian Pillman Jr. versus Max Caster. Next Dynamite is Adam Cole, Frankie Kazarian, Jade Cargill, Layla Hirsch, and Darby Allin, Shawn Spears. AEW Grand Slam, which is the 22nd of September. Cody Rhodes, Mikael Black, MJF, Brian Pillman Jr. They cut Suzuki's entrance before they could get his song played, which doesn't make the fans happy. They've got about 8 minutes left. Suzuki does get a bloodied eye in this, but it's not close to what they had. There's too much needing to go on the show, which actually is a good sign because it means that in theory you could now have 2 can't miss AEW programs. WWE doesn't even have 1 can't miss program right now, so it'll widen the gap, at least in theory. And then they trade forearms and boots early. Suzuki lands strikes. Moxley comes back with almost matches. Head of the commercial. During the break, Suzuki uses leverage within the ropes to gain control. Suzuki gains control. Moxley catches soccer kick and hits Suzuki's face. Suzuki returns favor. They trade headbutts, leading to double downs, and they trade forearms. Suzuki ducks under the lariat and locks on the rear naked choke. He then transitions into a piledriver position. Moxley then fights out with the paradigm shift. Suzuki busted open over the eye and manages to kick out. He shrugs it off and repeated lariats cuts Moxley off. Running drop kick. Suzuki locks on the sleeper, but Moxley escapes and hits a series of punches. High angle paradigm shift followed by the win. Moxley celebrates with his crowd. Really good Dynamite, and to be honest, I'm looking forward to most of the shows that Dynamite has in the next couple of weeks. That's a good sign. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.